Going
Keep it
live,
official.
and we're live.
We're here. We did it.
Yay.
Gavel, 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 gavel. I need a gavel.
I need a gavel.
That's
Bob,
official.
send that my way, as I am Judge Jen. And I now call to order this meeting, the third meeting of the Forever 44 Fedora Club. Boom.
Yeah.
Yes, we did it. We made it to 3. Well, continue and introduce yourself since you've already called the meeting to order.
I know. Do we do a pre-show on this one? I don't even know. just getting into it.
We're jumping right. No, we got to introduce. We're doing the introductions. That's the pre-show, right?
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
we
why
can do
not?
that. Either way. I'm Jen. I'm one half of Dillo's Diz. You're very far away from me how I see you. So like you're, I don't know, you're down there.
Diagonally.
Right, yes, yes. So I am one half of Dillo's Diz with my brother Frank, who is the founder, the CEO, the, what are your titles? I don't know. Of the Forever 44 Fedora Club. Because
El Presidente.
Forever 44, which he will not because he already isn't 44 anymore. So, enough about me. Let's move on to Skipper Bob. Welcome, Skipper Bob.
Hi. I'll try not to annoy you this week. Month.
What?
Did you annoy us last time? What happened?
Never annoy us, Skipper Bob.
Yeah.
You were great.
Awesome. We'll take it.
I don't think you've ever annoyed us, Skipper Bob.
Skipper Bob took a look back and watched how much he had partaken in the Dick Tracy episode. Take a look yourselves, everyone.
All right, next up we have 3J. 3J, welcome.
Hi, everybody. Oh, I'm so glad to be back. Sorry I missed out on Dick Tracy. You all did a wonderful job. I enjoyed watching that particular meeting of the 44 Forever Club, Fedoras included. But yes, I am glad to be back on time this time. This is my first time being on time.
Congratulations. And next up, we got Nate Hardy. I'm sorry, Nate, you are going to have to officially introduce yourself. New title included. Thank you.
The Treasuratorian, I think is how you pronounce the name. It's close enough. I'm the secretary, treasurer, historian, maybe, of the Forever 44 Fedora Club, and I'm really excited about it. It's just fantastic. And I do want to say that I made the beverage for tonight, the jet lag. I was dubious, but it is tasty. And I really am going to enjoy it tonight. But I also made one of my favorite drinks, the Aviation, which is an old-timey cocktail. And it has a nice little blue hue, hence the Aviation name. And I thought it fit with tonight's movie. So I have that. I'm going to be sipping because they're both super strong. So I will either have a great performance like Skipper Bob did last time, or I will come off like a complete fool and ruin my first performance with a title under my name. So
not a chance, Nate.
I'm excited for either way. Quite honestly, yeah. Last up, founder of the Forever 44 Fedora Club, no longer 44, Frank Cardillo. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. Welcome aboard. This is the conclusion of the original trilogy of meetings I had planned in my head when the Forever 44 Fedora Club was formed, and that was to do a focus of what I consider to be a very nostalgic time in my life. On the first meeting, we did Who Framed Roger Rabbit focus, and then the second was Dick Tracy, and now the third is the Rocketeer, the Rock-a-Who, and
the Rocket Man.
For going forward, the rest of the meeting, if you should say the Rocketeer, you have to immediately follow that with the Rock-a-Who. If everyone says it, great. But so we will now move forward with the Rocketeer.
The Rocket Who?
Great timing.
Everybody else has to drink.
There you go, Nate. Thank you.
Do we get to pick? Yes, nice.
And that's why Skipper Bob is always going to be a part of it.
Jeff is in the chat, and Jeff says, man, my wife asked me why I started growing a beard a few weeks ago, and I didn't really know why. It's becoming clearer now.
One of us.
I shaved before. Shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. Nate, it's back. You got to get the hair back too, Nate.
I know. I got a haircut too before this.
Yeah. That long hair.
You're
that you
Well,
have to-
looking
I have a
much
title,
more
so I have to look kind of like a professional.
Yeah, you're going to be the one that's the public-facing member. Like when
Yeah.
you have to address the public, it's
The club is doomed.
You're our face.
That's right. Also in the chat, Hardy family. Hi, Nate from the coolest little bro ever.
Oh. I happen to tell my extended family to come and watch tonight. It's about 44 people. So
Excellent.
we'll see if they
44
come by.
Perfect.
Good number.
before I continue with the Rocketeer,
The Rocket
Oh,
Who?
Rocketeer.
Wahoo!
I was like, did you freeze?
2-0-2.
I thought he froze.
I love Nate's Shakespeare-esque bust of Mickey Mouse there behind him on the pedestal. What I want to know is, let's show that off first. It's very nice.
I thought that was ceramic for a moment.
No,
I did
he's
too.
all shiny. He's one of the Mickey Mouse memories. December 12 of 12. Like it was a big deal a couple years ago. And my son liked the fact that he was all iridescent.
I like that. It's very
I don't know
cool.
if you can
It is
see it
cool.
in the light. but-
Yeah, from far away, it did look like ceramic.
Oh,
He looks angelic.
It's a disco ball.
Yeah,
It's very
I
cool.
love it. Nice.
But what text do you have beneath the
Well,
bust of it?
I'm glad you asked. Most of these are my lovely wife, but this is her corner for her Zoom meetings. But I did add the PTD cocktail guide. PTD is a famous bar in New York City. I'm not sure if our esteemed president and lovely Jen over here have been, but this is where I got the recipe for the aviation tonight. It's a speakeasy in New York City. Very good cocktail book. The margarita is super strong. Hold back. But that's my addition to The Power of Art by Simon Schama. My wife is an art, she's a docent at the National Gallery on the weekend, and we enjoy going there. And we have Michelangelo on the Pope's ceiling, great women collectors, Claude Monet and the painting of the water lilies, and some various Martha Stewarts and Atlantics. Those are mine. The PTD, very good book. Oh, and the Athena Doctrine as well. Some very good feminist art tomes, as well as some drinks.
So
Thanks.
I have not been there, but I think a future meeting of the Forever 44 Fedora Club will need to be at this drinking establishment.
Oh, I'd love to go there. I haven't been, and I have heard that it's a hot dog stand kind of restaurant, and then in the back is the door to the speakeasy.
Wait, is it the speakeasy in Criff Dogs? Criff
Yes.
Dogs? Maybe I have been there.
Okay.
Yeah, but like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Nice.
Let's all go.
Yeah. Field
Get in the
trip.
van.
I think we need to go to Tiki or Trader Sam's though.
Oh yeah,
Oh God.
It's gotta be a stop.
we got to make a list.
Well, you know, Jen and Nate, that I still have a plane ticket for a weekend in October, which clearly I would be able to have J and Triple J, 3J. What are we calling it? 3J, or depending on the Triple J, and Skipper Bob down, and we could have an actual meeting. I would just have to get the two of you to come down. Of course, I'm still scared stiff to go, so I don't know if I'm really going, but you guys should get ready to go.
You should also get scared to go purchase a plane ticket and roll the dice, see what happens.
I mean, in Orlando.
Yeah.
So the aviation, did you run through the ingredients and I missed
I did
it?
not.
Or?
I will do that for you now.
Yeah.
It is a gin-based drink. So you have 2 ounces of gin, so 3/4 ounce of lemon juice. It's a little tart, and then a 1/4 ounce of maraschino, which is a Italian. Well, it's generally Italian alcohol, and it is like the maraschino cherry, but it's not exactly the same. It is very sweet, so you just need a tiny bit of it. Luxardo is the main brand. And Italian old ladies, I hear, put it on their fruit salads as like a little kick to their card game afternoons. And then you add in the creme de violet, which is the purplish color. And then I added a Luxardo cherry that has been, soaked in Luxardo, so it's an extra nice little kick.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Very fancy.
It's a little tart, but it's great.
You should probably drink that out of a Forever 44 Fedora Club mug.
I will.
Nice
next
mug.
episode.
I don't have anything
Hey,
exciting in
can
here.
we make some shot glasses? That would
Oh, now we're talking.
That would be good.
Maybe flasks.
Yeah, I'll be drinking out of mine.
Just make sure not to get it on your shirts.
This seems classier out of that mug.
Totally.
I didn't have time to go change before this meeting. I feel like a failure. Jeff says, "Skipper Bob laughing when he hears 2 ounces of gin." Sure, 2 ounces.
Jeff knows me.
But I actually have 3 beverages because I made one version of the aviation with a higher quality creme de violet, but it doesn't have the same color. It's like a weirdish, not aviation,
Right.
but it tastes better. But it doesn't have the Dayglow sky.
3 drinks is what you're
I've got
telling us.
2 aviations and then the jet lag. And
He was Howard Hughes over there.
Excellent. Way to bring it, Nate. Way to bring it.
That's why I was late. I was making drinks.
You were just bartending on the side before
Yeah.
we started.
He was trying to make one for all of us.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to do that.
I like it. Jen, do you have the thing for the official drink of the month, or do you not have the?
I do.
The
I do. One moment
so
here.
the official drink of the month is titled the Jet Pack. The tequila.
Jet Pack. I'm sorry, not jet lag.
What did you? No, you said jet
Get it
lag.
right,
Well,
Nate. Jeez.
you know what's going to
Well, I've
happen
already
later.
had a couple, so
It's tequila and vermouth. You know it's going to lead to jet lag. It's inevitable.
yeah.
So 1.5 ounces of tequila. Skipper Bob, how much does that translate to you?
I usually use 2 shots of rum instead
Okay.
of 2 ounces.
Aha.
Yeah.
I got some dry white vermouth, some lemon juice, some brown sugar, and then all the fancy stuff with the bitters there at the end. So that's
Yeah.
the Jet Pack, tequila
Mhm.
based. My glass is empty. I feel like a failure.
What? Who are you tonight? Why are you even here?
No
What's
shirt.
happening?
No drink.
So
Man.
weird.
All right. Should I go
But,
to
Phoning
the,
it in today.
Yes.
That's it. Well, you want to go to the dish of the month, courtesy
dish
of
as
Disney
well?
Dishes?
Yeah.
Just pulled up some nice guacamole. I thought it was, something, California based, Hollywood based, some nice guac to go on the
Sketchers.
side there. So go to Disney Dishes, awesome blog by our friends over at the Hyperion Adventures podcast. So check it out. I always wanted to make my own kind of guac, and I think this will be
I know.
time.
I know. I've only made guac once, and it was actually in like a timed competition.
Oh.
Yeah,
Did you win?
I did not win. I went a little heavy, probably a little too heavy on the lime, in my opinion. But mine was good.
Guac always tastes better when someone else makes it for you.
That's probably right.
That's how I
That's
feel. I'm
definitely
always
true.
afraid of doing it.
Skipper Bob, I asked you a question prior to this broadcast. Do you have the ability to share yourself or no?
Yeah, I think I can. Yes.
Okay. So 3J, Skipper Bob has a little video to share with you here in honor of the 3rd meeting of the Forever 44 Fedora Club. Let's see how we can do it. Let's see if we can make it happen. I'm not good at the sharing the video stuff, which was dependent on Skipper Bob to make it happen.
Wait, I think
Oh, here
I
we go.
can add it to the stream there. Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, a Kansas City, Kansas live feed.
Oh, who's that coming to the ring?
Oh my god, so good.
Frank, you've been doing some bench presses.
Listen,
It's all Peloton.
Skipper Bob. Skipper Bob asked for my weight, and I didn't know that was going to translate to money, quite honestly.
Yeah, you're built
It's
like a
all mean.
linebacker.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I
Yes.
wish I was this actual 214 pounds, but you can see the 44 Fedora Club on the back of the jersey there as I enter the ring. I mean, everything. The baseball socks is really, I think, really where
dreams come true. And
the cargo shorts, the logo, the jersey.
This is like too real for me. I feel like
it's my dream. This is my dream, right?
You got the cargo shorts. He's got it all.
Oh my god!
Now, but I mean, I think this is really caps it off right here because introducing my tag team partner.
So good.
Yes.
And that is a Monday Morning Monorail logo on the bandana.
I love it. I love it.
I can see the shirt looks to be a little too big.
I think I should have gone down a size.
Yeah.
I guess I could always tie it up. I appear to be wearing brown. I'm going to need to be checked for illegal objects because either I've got some massive thighs or I'm sneaking in some weapons in those cargo shorts.
Yeah, you're hiding a couple kendo sticks.
It's just collapsible kendo sticks.
That's
Skipper Bob, my friend Joe. He's appreciative of the Cowboy Bob Orton, Ace Orton cast on my arm as well.
I appear to be wearing like a wristband, like I just got admission to a concert, maybe.
I gave both of you magic bands.
Oh, nice. Okay.
There we go. That's nice.
Oh
nice
God.
touch there.
Amazing.
By the way, I totally approve of the headband. That's something I probably would do. So, yeah.
So good.
That was
awesome. Skipper Bob, that's fantastic.
There's a reason I made those.
Yeah. Go ahead. You can tell the world.
All right. So I am compiling 30 vloggers, podcasters, artists, and creators together, and we are going to have a over-the-top battle royale for this guy.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Cretans Guild World Championship.
Oh, it's
We
beautiful.
put this on the line about once a month, and we're gonna have a major over-the-top battle, and Frank and 3J or Justin or and a whole bunch of other podcast friends of mine are going to be part of the rendition. So it's going to be something really fun when we get it going.
Amazing.
That's
I mean, I'm already in love with it, and will be super annoyed at myself when I get thrown over the top rope.
Yeah, that's exactly. I actually, when Skipper Bob started talking to me about this, I told him, first of all, I thought we were going to be in control, and I'm like, look, I have gotten too old for video games. I suck now, and I will be mad at myself if I lose early. So I'm too competitive for that. He's like, don't worry, you won't be in control. And I was like, well, I will still be pissed at my little punk ass character if he gets punked out early. So,
the angriest guy is my co-host Jay, who's the current champion. I mentioned, I was like, all right, this is how we're going to do it. He says, you better put me in at number 30. No, you're probably going to be number 1, dude. No guaranteed there's going to be a repeat.
I know number 27 always wins, so can I leave? I leave request number 27. Okay, guess what? It's time to talk about the Rocketeer.
The Rocket
who?
Get there.
Hi, Daddy-O.
Daddy-O, hello.
Daddy-O joined.
So to jump right in, I would be remiss if I did not ask if anyone recalls the first time. Did anyone here in this virtual room see The Rocketeer in the theater in 1991?
Opening night.
Opening night.
I was super excited for it. Skipper?
I not opening night, but I did see it. Yes.
No, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it in the theater.
And Jen's going to say no because she knows that I did not see it in the movie theater. So
I guess I didn't.
It was one of those things, right? Pumped up for the Rocketeer, and then I had to play a summer baseball tournament, and it was never to be seen again. I thought it was going to be over.
You ruined it for both of us, is what you're saying.
That's right. I ruined the movie theater experience for both Jen and I by playing baseball all summer because it was I remember going to see Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves on opening night. I remember going to see Naked Gun 2.5. I remember not seeing Terminator 2. I also did not see Terminator 2 in the theater. So a sandwich between those movies was the release of The Rocketeer. So I thought perhaps we could discuss for Nate and Skipper Bob first, just the impressions, what you might recall of seeing it in the movie theater.
Skipper, go ahead.
All right. Wow. I mean, it felt like a superhero movie, but at the same time, it didn't. It was like a combination, like noir movie with superhero action with like spy elements. And then, of course, it had Jennifer Connelly. My attention really well. This was like one of those really unique movies where Disney wasn't making so many live action, and I think it was like right before the animation renaissance, so they made like this hard turn towards that, and there weren't a lot of live actions after The Rocketeer. There were a couple, but I remember this one particular just stuck with me for a long, long time. It's just, and I couldn't really put my finger on why. It was really memorable. It had Timothy Dalton and a number of other actors that I had seen in other places, but obviously Timothy Dalton was the biggest name in there. James Bond, but the rest, it really, I mean, and James Horner, his music, holy cow.
Wow.
I mean, we'll get into that later, but yeah, there's so much memorable about this movie. And at the same time, it's one of those, I haven't seen that in a few years movie. Let's turn this on, watch it, and that's your whole night. Rocketeer.
Yeah, I think the thing
all of you need a drink.
All right.
Oh, you said it. Oh, I'm out.
Rockahoo.
The phrase that I'll take there is I can't put my finger on it, right? Because it's as I rewatched it prior to this meeting, it's like a perfect movie, but yet, it is what it is. It was a box office failure. It's a cult classic. It has a great following, but you can't find anything to really complain about in the movie at all, is how I feel. Nate, what was your experience of seeing it? My buddy Joe there, it was the weekend of his high school graduation when that came out. That's memorable.
Yeah. Well, I was a big fan of the comic book to begin with, for a couple reasons. Dave Stevens, the artist who made the comic book, designed the character, and sort of used it as a vehicle for his love of Betty Page, and he had just some fantastic art that I loved besides The Rocketeer. So I came in with a love of the background of the material everything was based on. Betty Page is just an icon, and I was excited to see Jennifer Connelly play that role. And it was a Disney adventure movie that I was kind of excited to see. So it had three things that I really was excited about, and that's why I went opening night. And yeah, I loved it. I walked out thinking this is great. It's going to be a hit. And then it bombed, which I have terrible prediction skills apparently, but I really liked it. And I don't think there's a lot to complain about. The big brute character, he was much more terrifying in the comics. Whoops. So he just knocked something down here. But I really wanted more from him in the movie. But he was still pretty scary. It was great. I thought it was like a Star Wars type film where it was sort of an homage to the older movies, the serials of yore, and but with some great special effects. And I really wish it had not done as badly as it did. But it didn't hurt Jennifer Connelly. She became a huge star, and I still like it to this day. Watched it with my family a couple times before this. Everybody loved it. Even my 12-year-old son thought it was pretty cool, and he did not want to watch it. He's like, "This isn't great. What are we doing?" And he got into it. So I'm a fan.
Yeah, I know my buddy Joe's gonna provide the facts all night over here in the comments. So the cost of making the Rocketeer $40 million, and the box office earnings were at $46.7 million. So and you throw in it made something.
Yeah.
But I read that when they re-released the animated movies, which they would do every year, the movie released that summer was 101 Dalmatians, and that made 60 million on the re-release versus the 46.7 for the Rocketeer. And Joe Johnston, the director, he came from working on Star Wars at a young age. He was with ILM. So there's a lot of that. It's like everything from 1977 to 1991 I feel like is incorporated into this movie, and yet it's not a big movie. It still has that that simplistic nature to it that I think makes it so charming, and maybe that's the right word for it, is charming. And why I lump it into these three movies with Roger Rabbit and with Dick Tracy is that it invokes this nostalgia of some kind. And I think that Jennifer Connelly was definitely the legacy of the Rocketeer in some ways. We still, as Disney fans, as movie fans, what have you, come back to the Rocketeer for different things all the time, like the simple story and the music and the production design, the effects. They made everything work really well. I had posted in the Forever 44 Fedora Club that we have on Facebook. Go on over there and join along. Just behind the scenes, and just to go back and watch that. This is like one of my favorite parts of these meetings, is dropping that behind the scenes of the movie into the Facebook group, and just to see all the different flying machines that people tried, from Da Vinci and his designs, and all the way through the special effects of the movie. It's just it's a fascinating watch, and I'm not even I've been on a trapeze. That's about it. But they say everyone wants to fly at some point. That's like how can we all fly? Do that. But I think thanks, Jen, for posting the Facebook group right there. Yeah. The need to the freedom to fly, whatever goes behind that, is certainly part of that nostalgia too. Is like that idea to be free.
Yeah,
it's fun to be free.
It's fun to be free. Speaking of nostalgic songs, so 3J, did you do it on video?
For sure, yeah. And let me just tell you, so I may have a different angle on this movie than everybody else, possibly.
Hey.
On his feed now.
Mute me, cut me.
Well, it was nice seeing you, Justin. Hold on, let me remove you.
I get to leave early. Bye. No, so here's the thing. When I think about this movie before I rewatched it, it's always been one of these things that puzzles me, because on paper it has a lot of things that I should love, and that should add up to this being a favorite of mine, something that's in my nostalgia, in my heart. And it just never has been. And so I've never really gone back to it. I've probably only seen this movie 3 times now total. And watching it this time was my third. And so while I watched this time, I did watch it with an open mind, and I was trying to think to myself, what is it about this movie that has just never really hit with me? First of all, I think maybe I was a little bit young for Jennifer Connelly. I think that was one of the problems at the time, because it wasn't until a couple years later where I had my first real movie crush. So I think it was a little early.
Name that crush.
Well, maybe on another episode. Come back for further. Forever 44. But so watching it this time, I was like, oh, Justin would have been all in on that as a 12-year-old. But at the time, I don't know. The music, I love the music. I love the special effects. I love the idea. I love the concept. I don't necessarily connect well with Billy Campbell. There is something about him that to me is very flat or something. Like him, I feel like he struggles to really carry this movie. And I actually thought to myself, if Jennifer Connelly was the Rocketeer, I think I would have liked this movie more, because she has more of that charisma. Obviously, she was the one that went on to a larger career. She has something that it kind of draws the attention about her. She has that gravitas. I don't think he did. The other thing for me, I guess I didn't have the connection to the comics. So I didn't have that kind of going into it. But yeah, I've always kind of thought of this movie as being disappointing. And watching it today, it was just like, I made it through it, and it was fine. But yeah.
Struggle.
Yeah. All right.
No, and I see your point, and I think that is, if you were going to focus the blame somewhere, I guess, and it may be there. And when I did my rewatch, I was ready to blame Timothy Dalton. I was like, he's not a strong enough villain. He didn't really make it as James Bond.
Yeah, I liked him.
Bond out of this.
I actually thought he did a great job. Like Timothy Dalton did his job fine. He was, he wasn't the problem for me. And I like Peavy too.
Yeah, Alan Arkin is always great. Yeah. And I think that's part of where the issue is that I feel like maybe Billy Campbell didn't get his moments to really be elevated to that pedestal. I don't know. There was like that large sequence where Jennifer Connelly gets kidnapped, and like, where is he for a while? And I'm like, he's the hero of this movie. Like, and there's a large sequence of her, what's that?
The soup scene where he's ladling the soup, and that was his like comedic moment, kind of.
Yeah.
And I love that scene. I think it's hilarious. I don't know. You are correct. I give Justin that. Yes, Billy Campbell, probably the weak link, but I didn't mind it.
Jeff says, were you glad Justin could put words to my thoughts and feelings? I was 12 too, and even on the rewatch, it didn't really hold my attention. All I could think of wasn't this a Brendan Fraser movie? Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. And I would guess from all our comments right now, I'm going to wait for my buddy Joe to chime in on the comments because I know how he feels about the Rocketeer. Thank you. Oh, drink.
Skipper. You got to help me, man.
Again, it's like all the other characters, should be lifting the hero up, so to speak. And I feel like he just didn't get enough of those chances is really how I felt about it. But that was just my impression. Yeah, I was ready to throw Timothy Dalton under the bus before the rewatch today. And I was like, that's why. Because he's not Alan Rickman, by God. That's why. But no, he was totally fine. And I enjoyed his scenes. Yeah, Paul Sorvino is great.
Oh, yeah. Terry O'Quinn. Yeah.
Terry O'Quinn as Howard Hughes is, part of why I got into is a very, very many reasons why I got into Lost for years and it sucked my life away. But obviously that Terry O'Quinn had this role was part of that, because anytime he showed up in a movie, like he was in the X-Files movie, like detonating a bomb, and like he was amazing, and he was in the movie for like 5 minutes, and I was like, who is this guy? He's always in a movie and he's always amazing. And damn it, I want Terry O'Quinn and I want him to be superimposed into The Aviator and just take out Leo DiCaprio.
We could do that nowadays.
Can I pose a question then? Yeah. So if we think Billy was the problem, who do we think would be a better lead? Who would have been better at the time?
At that time? That's tough.
I would say maybe Billy Zane.
Oh, interesting.
I mean, and I'm going to rephrase it. I don't know if Billy was the problem. I just think however everything else around him was taken with greater care.
Maybe they just didn't set him up like they should have and support him the way they should have is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So maybe you're thinking it's less of the actor and more of the direction. Yeah.
I just think the production design is so solid and the other characters feel more fleshed out. Like even Paul Sorvino Paul Sorvino is great. So there's that. But, he, in small parts, like he has like 5 lines and he's awesome.
Right.
Like you get an idea of who he is. Boom. And I don't know if you got enough of, the audience got a chance to embrace the hero like they could have.
I felt it was more like an ensemble movie rather than a hero movie. Mm-hmm. And it seemed like Billy was cast more I hate to say it, like Anakin Skywalker was cast in the prequels. He fit a look. Here is what a square-jawed hero from the 30s, 40s serials should look like. That's the Rocketeer. And he can deliver a line like, you should have been at my air show. And you could think he's kind of a dork, but also imagine him being the Rocketeer. And everybody else was equally as important. I mean, if you do look at it like this should have been a Billy Campbell vehicle, it failed. If it was a story about the time period and the characters, which seems to be part of the motif of these Fedora movies, that although they're a larger than life idea or world building, it always comes back to the character interaction. You care about Eddie Valiant. You care about I cared about Billy Campbell's character and them making, or I'm blanking on her. I've had too many drinks. The love interest kind of getting together at the end. I wanted that to happen. I didn't necessarily need to have Billy Campbell saving the day, and he doesn't really. I mean, he kills the villain with like a fluke. It's not his movie. It's a time period piece with characters you kind of follow through with. I cared about Peavy as much as I did care about the main character.
It's a good point. I think, though, the problem is the movie is called The Rocketeer, right? The Rocket Who. And
so why did I make this rule?
But like that being the case, and being that like this is the origin story of this icon, right? It feels like it should be more, this is the guy that can carry this film, even though I agree with everything that you're saying, because if you put it as the backdrop of the late 30s, and then you've got all this stuff going on, you're in Hollywood, and everything kind of pulls together. I think they did a great job with all of that. But that's cool for a couple minutes, but what's keeping me interested?
Well, in the thing that Frank posted about the background material that Billy Campbell kind of hosted, you hear Dave Stevens talking about the character, and he said Billy Campbell's supposed to be the everyman. He's the average schlub who's kind of put into a situation where he's forced to do something. And he thought the rocket was cool, and he wanted to try it out, but he didn't necessarily want to go save Malcolm, his buddy, who was flailing around in the airplane, but he did it. And what's more iconic is and they do it in the movie, and it's kind of cheesy, but there are like a couple of shots where he's got the helmet on and he's the Rocketeer. He looks up in the sky, and then there's the other one where he's in front of the flag holding the gun, which is the cover of one of the comics. That's the Rocketeer. It's not the character or the guy. The guy is a moron who can't, understand that I've got Jennifer Connelly as a girlfriend, and I'm going to complain she's not showing up at my stupid airfield show. He's an idiot.
It's like Superman versus Clark Kent syndrome.
Right. Yeah. Right. But even Clark Kent's smarter than our main lead.
So but that just put me in mind of somebody who I think maybe would be an interesting recast in this role. John Cusack. He plays that role quite a bit of like an every guy who fails at everything, but he also has this magnetism about him that makes him kind of interesting and fun to watch.
True. I will give you an answer.
So, cheers.
So my buddy Joe says here, it's a loving throwback to the Republic serials of the past. There's something beautiful about the cinematography. It looks very dreamy, classic Hollywood. 100%. The production design is where it's at.
It's a love letter.
Yeah, it's totally a love letter. And I mean, and the thing they talk about now too is because he was the director of The Winter Soldier, of how much that kind of carried over from the Rocketeer, like that feeling was still there, but with the Marvel and the whole thing, the money behind it, it becomes grander. Just to pose this question, because it's all three movies: the Ink and Paint Club versus Club Ritz versus the South Seas Club. Where are you going on a night out on the town?
Ink and paint every day.
And I mean ice.
Yeah. I agree with that, but I have an interesting tidbit about the South Seas Club. So that, by the way, that scene, you're right, Nate. It's a great scene. The whole South Seas Club scene is great. When the lounge singer comes out, I had a moment where I was like, "Oh my God, I know that person," and
Yeah.
it hit me pretty quick that it's freaking Jan from The Office, Melora Hardin,
Right.
is the lounge singer.
Oh
I
wow!
don't think
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Wait
didn't
a
put-
minute. Oh, you slept with Michael Scott.
Exactly. But wow, like that, I saw it and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's her!" And I started doing the thing. I pulled my phone out. And I was like, "I was right."
Yeah, and I, and it does sit right in the middle of the film, so it kind of stands like the centerpiece moment of the movie, as much as because I think some people get disappointed by the climax. The exposition of the movie could have been stronger, but that whole sequence, I feel like you're getting everything. You're getting the interaction between the main characters, you're getting the production design, you're getting the music. It like all. You're getting the effects when he's flying around the club and Jennifer Connelly's looking through the window. I mean, it's all kind of there in that moment. It's kind of like an act 3 of a Shakespeare tragedy where like, a big event happens in the middle and then you get the stuff at the end. It's one of my favorites. Let's talk about the music real quick. Is the main title of The Rocketeer the greatest movie theme title theme of all time? Lay your bets now.
No.
Guys, don't hold back.
Okay. You're the president.
I'm not saying I feel that way. I know people who feel that way. So
Okay.
I'm just posing it out to everyone else. It is up there, but I would put top 10 maybe just in my life. Because I'm with you in some way, Justin. I don't watch it like regularly. Like it's not in the same cycle of like Star Wars or any other one that I'll watch over and over again. Jurassic Park, just start naming John Williams themes. But there's something to that theme that draws me back, and not just because it's was constantly playing at the Fountain of Nations in Epcot. It's more than that. It's the whimsy and the wonder and the nostalgia that seems embedded in that theme.
Yeah, it's good.
I think it was played in #AlwaysMGM as well back in the day, wasn't it? Because to me, I feel like I'm getting off the friendship boats, walking into the park as I hear it and I get all the vibes.
What is your favorite movie themes of all time? Can you, if not a song, we're talking about a piece of composed music that is a movie title theme.
Well, you've already mentioned Star Wars. Raiders of the Lost Ark. It's just iconic. The Harry Potter motifs that are in the various songs. I don't know if it's the title sequence necessarily, but I guess it is in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
But there's John Williams soundtracks. Trying to think of some others that are just as iconic.
Well, if you hadn't said no songs, I was going to say Men in Black, Wild Wild West.
Titanic.
Gotta throw it back to Will Smith. But no, those are good ones.
I'll put it up
Can't diss Huey Lewis.
That's
He
right.
had some good songs in that movie.
Versus Danny Elfman's Batman theme. Put it up against that one because I feel like that's around the same time period.
Well, for me, that's easy. I'm going Batman theme.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't even call the Rocketeer's main theme the best song James Horner ever composed.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there. It's memorable. I think my one strike against that song is I'm fairly certain we heard it more than once in the song, maybe 3 times possibly, and almost to the point where we've heard this before, haven't we? Is it stuck on loop or something? I mean, it's a good song, but why are we hearing it again? But I get it, because if you look at, I'm just looking at James Horner's movie list, and my God, it goes on forever. you notice there's a particular sound that he has. I mean, he did Star Trek 2, Star Trek 3, Cocoon, Aliens, American Tail, Batteries Not Included, Land Before Time, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, Glory. That's one of my favorite movies.
Oh my
of all
God,
time.
Glory is.
Yeah,
Top
there's
five
music in Glory. I would put that above the Rocketeer. It will just be here forever if I listen. Holy cow, he did a lot.
Braveheart's on there.
Braveheart.
Titanic's on there.
Apollo 13, Jumanji.
Yeah,
he's definitely the Mount Rushmore of Hollywood composers, without a doubt.
The the thing that James I kind of mentioned it there, Skipper Bob. The thing that James Horner I think sometimes got criticized for is incorporating either some of his other themes in the movie he's currently working on, or like in the case of Glory, where he kind of weaves in Carmina Burana there during the climax of in the final battle on Fort Wagner there. That is, there's elements of that, which who cares? Let's not get crazy, people. But there is, James Horner does have that sound that is able to draw out that nostalgia for, especially when it's time period, whether it's Braveheart, whether it's Titanic, whether it's Glory, those time period pieces. He somehow manages to make you connect to the world of the play, as it were. And that's definitely the case with the Rocketeer, but there's also this sound that he uses in there that reminds me of Randy Newman's score for The Natural. There's kind of that, which is also in Field of Dreams, by the way, for James Horner.
Yeah.
Which is also in Field of Dreams. That like it's like supposed to send goosebumps, through you, and it does.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Jen.
No, I was just gonna say that the vibe of when you mentioned Field of Dreams, the vibe of the movie overall, like just the feel of it, to me gave me the Field of Dreams vibe, gave me like a League of Their Own vibe. And I don't know if they were all within a few years of each other when they came out, but also, and two were a little closer in the time period, but maybe just because it was more of like exclude League of Their Own maybe, but like a fantasy, and everyone's dreaming and going for this big goal that seemed unattainable, and they got it. And so it kind of, I don't know, there was just a vibe to all of it where I was doing what Justin's doing on their phone, like, what is the connection between all three of these movies? I need to figure it out right now. And but it just, and maybe it's just when they all came out that was just what was big in Hollywood at that time, but it kind of just made me feel like those three had some sort of connection. I don't know. Well,
the connection that I saw is that Frank was in Hollywood Studios, which is the, Hollywood that was and never, what is this phrase? Was and never.
It's the best there is, there was, and there ever will be. How about that?
Exactly, that one. And all of these movies kind of embody that almost. This is, the Hollywood Toontown, which is, all of the different animation greats. Yeah. And then we have Dick Tracy, which is the, cops and robber stuff, but it's still an idealized special effects makeup version of it. And then we have the Rocketeer, which is the serials, but on a bigger scale. And it's all what he was living in as a friend of various characters in Hollywood Studios at the time. And we're wearing the hats that almost everybody in the movie was wearing. And though there's a connection of a time period of an era that we can have these stories told throughout time that can tell us various things about ourselves, but use this time period as a background, as a place, as a nostalgia, but tell us different things about what we're going through. And I wish I had known more about what Justin was talking about there, because I was thinking about that a lot this week. What connects all these movies? And I was thinking more of, for me, the character is character interaction, because we have these smaller moments with these characters that are really interesting to me in each of the movies. We have, Roger and Jessica. She says, he makes me laugh. there are those little things in each of these movies that go through that make me like these characters and make me watch it again and see something different in each that I like. But if I was thinking, why is Frank chosen these? And I was thinking, well, he sees these different time periods as something that you can build a whole park around. You can build a whole world around and have these experiences that everybody can enjoy and share. I don't know if that's what you were thinking, but I was trying to think what you might think.
Well, I think that's certainly part of it, right? There's two things I almost talk about the most, whether you're listening on Theme Park Thursday or just here, whatever, is characters and the world of the play. Like, that's what I always come back to, where we're talking about immersive experiences or whatever. So yeah, with Who Framed Roger Rabbit, that was supposed to be a bigger thing. We talked about that at the first meeting, how there should be more. But, for whatever financial, people didn't get along, whatever it was, that didn't happen to the extent that it should have. And then Dick Tracy, disappointed. Disney thought about launching a bigger thing and then pulled back. And again, whether it was a Warren Beatty thing or a Euro Disney thing, we'll never know completely. And then with this one, it died after the first weekend. It had the machine, it had the Bulldog Cafe on the backlot tour. But it wasn't going to go anywhere. But the potential is still there.
Yeah. And I think too. Are there more drinks piling up over there?
No, I'm sorry. I'm being told that I don't smile enough, and I'm dour looking.
Oh my God, so funny.
I love my family and friends. I'm sorry, Frank.
Listen. Treasure-torians are very you gotta be serious.
I have to be a professional.
Seriously, this is professional business.
I got the double bumper from a New York person.
I love how you're getting live notes.
I know.
Yeah, I'm getting directions from my director, and she is always right.
I love it.
I'm getting this in my ear now.
Well, I'm in trouble. I'm sorry, but.
No, I was going to build on Nate, what you were saying earlier, how even with the Rocketeer, it's not about him necessarily, it's about everyone and everything. And I think that's all of these movies. It's not, it's not Roger Rabbit. Oh, it's only about Roger Rabbit and it's him, it's everything going on around him. And it's Dick Tracy. It's how we talked about the makeup, when we talked about all these things, it's the music, it's the atmosphere and the environment and the interaction of the characters. And so many movies, I think, are about it's this character and this character, and that's all it's about. And everything else is just sort of happening around them. And I think these movies bring everything together. I don't know. Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks. I was reading Joe's comment, which was kind of.
Yeah.
Oh, Joe had a great comment about, and I'd like to maybe bring that up. I don't know if you're going to talk about it, Frank, but the propaganda film in the movie. There is the backdrop of the Nazi advance and how it's making inroads in America through their propaganda efforts. And, I've debated with people before of whether the Lucky Lindy reference is to kind of give him a slight for his pro-Germany views at the time. Lucky Lindy, Charles Lindbergh, there's a scene in the movie where they use a wooden statue from the Lucky Lindy flight school as a test subject, the dummy for the Rocketeer. And they strap the rocket on the back of this. Well, first they steal him, cutting the wooden guy off his stand, and then bring him in a truck over to a bean field. And then they strap the rocket to him, light it off, and he flies around in a circle for a while, and then rips off from his chain, ends up with a broken dome, and that's Charles Lindbergh. And he is not the political personal view. He's not the hero we should think he is. But in the movie, there is the subtext of the Nazi propaganda film, and also our clip or the Dalton character says he's a fascist, a saboteur, all this stuff, and he ends up to be a spy. there's a dark background to the movie, and as Joe was saying, that we don't fully get that in our face until we get the propaganda film, but we do see it throughout with they're in the Billy's character goes and takes Jennifer Connelly to a movie, and they see the movie or the newsreel, and we hear about the Nazis bringing the blimp over here, and that was their effort to make themselves look nice and not the Nazis that they were here in the States. And so that's the beginning of the dark element, and we see that throughout. That's one reason why I really like this movie. There's all sorts of historical subtext that it comes out in the Nazi stuff. And at the end, we got the gangsters of Paul Sorvino's character joining with the feds, all with their machine guns, shooting at the Nazis. It's like, hey, even us cops and robbers are getting together and we're going to take down our foe. But, there are some other little interesting historical notes throughout the movie. And, we've got the Hoover reference and early on about the tough guy Fed doesn't want to call Hoover, and he makes his younger guy call him, and he says, yeah, he likes you. That's a little Hooverish. And then we go into the Howard Hughes aviation hangar, and Billy Campbell jumps up and grabs the flyer that zooms off, and the Howard Hughes character says, "Oh, it flies," as he's flying it out. Well, it's a replica of the Spruce Goose, which was a historical failure, but was a huge wooden plane that Howard Hughes came up with that would be the savior for America's military at the time. We'd take all these different military equipment, tanks, all the stuff, and fly them in this huge wooden ship over for the effort. And we get to see these different little moments, which are nice. That's one thing I like about it. I mean, I know it's a cult movie, but it's got all sorts of little neat things in it.
Yeah. Skipper Bob, I'm going to pose this question to you, okay? Since you're one of the two locals on here. If Disney tomorrow decided they're just going to set up a little nook, it's going to be a little Rocketeer land, like just a little area that's going to be Rocketeer themed, what do you think happens?
Bulldog Cafe. That's the first thing you do. You need a Rocketeer roller coaster. Don't know exactly how you would do that one, but
they make a
like Soarin'.
Or do you need a flight of passage Soarin' situation? Is the question.
Ooh, kind of. Well, you put on a helmet and it's actually a VR screen. I don't know.
Oh,
I love it. That's awesome.
Let's see.
You're not a skipper, you're a engineer.
We can't be putting on
I'm up for hire
in this day and age.
Well, they're still doing glasses.
Bring your own. Yeah.
They are doing glasses, but I'm not putting something over my whole face right now. Sorry.
Do glasses, and you can imagine. Come on.
YOH? Bring your own helmet? I don't know.
Bring your own Clorox wipes.
Yeah.
Well, Skipper Bob, would it work? Do you think people would be attracted to it if you said we're going to have an attraction, we're going to have a restaurant? It's not going to be big. It's going to be smaller than Toy Story Land. You don't think it'll matter?
It would not work because first off, it's been over 20 years, and if you walk up to anyone under the age of 15, it's like, what's the Rocketeer? The Rock-a-Who?
I'm an old guy, but there is a Rocketeer cartoon right now that has a woman, as 3J was saying. Maybe it would be interesting to have a different character, and it's a young woman as the Rocketeer who has taken the role and moved on, and it's on Disney.
It's on Disney Junior.
And any connection to the movie, or is it a different story?
It has the last name of the child is the same, but it's not within the bloodline. It is there is some homages to the world, as it were. But I wouldn't say, the name of the town is Hughesville. So there's little things like that along the way. I got nominated for a bunch of daytime Emmys.
Yeah.
I could tell you outright, though, that my 4-year-old, super into Muppet Babies, super into Fancy Nancy, got into the initial episodes of The Rocketeer, and then trailed off, and I thought that was telling.
Yep, same for mine. Same for my 6 and 3-year-olds. And every once in a while, I'm like, "Ooh, look, a new episode of The Rocketeer." No.
Cricket.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't even know about it till today when I started tried to do some research for this.
Yeah.
So,
well, Nate, I would check it out. I would love to hear your thoughts on it, especially just again, you probably would be able to pick out those little connects more than anyone else.
Campbell is the dad.
Right. He's the voice of the dad.
And his name is Dave for Dave Stevens, the guy who created it. But I totally agree with Skipper Bob. His statements stand. There's no way they can make an attraction out of this.
Let me tell you evidence for what we're seeing in the world today. If there was not a successful Tron light cycle power run already in existence, people would have lost their minds about the idea of a Tron attraction. Like, why? And people still feel that way. We had the Tron cartoon, and it doesn't matter.
That's a great comparison. Is Tron, especially? And even with the reboot, people still feel that way about Tron.
I'm the one dude who would be super excited about the Tron coaster, no matter what. But yes, Disney should not make attractions for me. They should make them for well, for Bob. Dude, yes, I forgot you're totally into Tron.
I'm also into the black hole, and you don't see any attractions for that movie.
They should have made the Stitch Great Escape into a black hole.
Yeah.
And had Maximilian be the thing that got loose.
That I agree with. I'm on board with that.
That'd work.
And I only mentioned this too, the idea of could they carve a little nook for the Rocketeer and maybe a cool attraction like you get to live like the Rocketeer flying through the air. Could that draw? And I only bring that up too because of the Mandalorian episode where everyone was no spoilers if you haven't seen it, but there's a flight scene with the Mandalorians there with the jetpacks, and there was a little nod to the Rocketeer in there, and I think people picked up on that, and it made me wonder a little bit. Now, with the cartoon, I also have read conflicting reports of whether or not it's been canceled after one season. So. There's also that.
I tell you what I think would work. You make a Rocketeer lounge in #AlwaysMGM.
Yes,
that's what you need.
Yeah.
Well, the Brown Derby is a little too highbrow for this, but it does have the same kind of feeling. Like it's got the signed pictures, autographs, all the stars on the walls. But yes, if we had something that was a little lower. And for the Rocketeer would be great.
Yeah.
And I know that there were artifacts still in sci-fi and over by the frozen Coke station and all that, but I don't know if they're still there or if they've moved them around or if you can still find some.
The Backlot Express, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Frank, did you ever go to the bar that was like a catwalk? That was above the Brown Derby. That's now the Club 33.
Well, where the Disney Junior show was, I don't know, but they had that used to be the Soundstage restaurant. Right. So the bar used to be up, and the Soundstage restaurant used to be designed to be whatever animated movie was out that year. And so the bar was above that. So I've been up there as I worked in that restaurant an awful lot for character dining once upon a time many moons ago. So so you could go to our, the YouTube page here after you like this video and after you subscribe to the channel and check out. You can see the genie dancing in the Soundstage restaurant from 1996. You could also see the Rocketeer flying in the middle of the Sorcery in the Sky fireworks show at #AlwaysMGM.
That's right.
Which was here he comes. There we go. But still check out the video. It's got a lot of views.
So fun.
It was very cool. But so the Club 33 new lounge is off the Brown Derby main lobby. Right. There's something there, but that's not the same thing as the bar that Okay.
I feel like they've somehow melded it, but I can't picture it in my brain enough to know. Square Pegs, welcome. Rocketeer would have dovetailed nicely into being part of the dearly departed Adventurers Club at Pleasure Island.
Yeah.
100%.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Good.
By the way, Square Pegs is my podcast co-host Jay
Okay.
and the current Cretan's Guild world champion.
Oh,
And he makes a
coming
great
for
point.
that belt. We're going for that belt, Jay.
Hey, Square Pegs, how old is he? Was he around for the Square
my
Pegs
age.
TV show?
Oh.
Say that again.
Was he around for the Square Pegs TV show, which was
He gets asked that all
bad
the time.
version of Spicoli trying to move to the main, Fast Times at Ridgemont High to network television?
I don't think he watched it. No.
I did. It was awesome, and I saw Square Pegs, and I was like, yes.
Also a cult classic, Square Pegs.
What's her face from Jennifer Grey? No,
No,
Carrie from Sex and the City.
Sarah Jessica Parker. Yeah.
Yes, was in it. Yes.
All right. So, any last thoughts on the Rocketeer? We'll go around the horn here before I ask my last question of this meeting before the meeting is adjourned.
Only I adjourn meetings around here.
Oh, sorry, Judge.
Why do I have
All
this
right.
name if you're going to keep starting stuff and adjourning things? And
Sorry. Just drop me out of the feed if you want. So this concludes basically. I'm not ending the meeting, Jen. The trilogy, as it were, of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Dick Tracy, and the Rocketeer, which was my initial thing. So now it's gonna go outward to see what the next meeting will be about. Perhaps a Twitter poll. Perhaps we'll do things like that along the way here. I'm open to suggestions, but maybe we'll go around the horn right now to see who might have a suggestion for a future meeting of the Forever 44 Fedora Club.
silence.
Anyone?
Don't you-
I've got several suggestions, but this is your thing, and I didn't want.
I mean, I'm saying I'm open to suggestions. Don't. No, you're wrong. I'm gonna
Now, do
do
we have
that.
to, are we sticking to the time period, or are we doing something that's? It's got.
Does there have to be a fedora in the movie
Is it
in
a
order
fedora?
to?
Earlier, I think it was before we went live. Back to the Future 2 was suggested since Marty is disguised with a fedora.
Good.
Right.
I'm
So
for
that-
that.
So that
sounds
is a
great.
simple example.
Okay.
I mean,
Right.
I thought we said that while we were live. I couldn't remember.
Were we live?
but-
It's been
So
so
I-
long.
It was before I joined, so it was not live.
Okay.
I was
Well-
like a second before we went live. So.
Okay. Well, I would like to throw out Back to the Future too.
What a great idea!
Hudson Hawk.
Hudson Hawk.
Oh,
Ooh,
That's better than anything I was thinking of.
yeah.
I was thinking like The Godfather and like all stuff that just
Mhm.
no.
Do some James Cagney movies. I don't know. Some old we could do. Go into Turner Classic Movie Land. That's how we're
Do that
talking
for
about
November.
newer movies here.
I was kind of thinking the Shaggy DA, that like those kind of Disney
Oh,
live actions
interesting.
as a humorous element thrown
Nate-
into all this seriousness.
A long time ago, you suggested Johnny Fedora meets what's the short, the cartoon short with the blue bonnet and the fedora, and they fall in love, and
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's great. They've brought that back. There's a whole bunch of merch now with those characters. So I've
That's
never
her
even
name.
watched the whole thing. So
Johnny Fedora met someone blue bonnet. I'll link it, but we're gonna take some suggestions on the Twitter here. So that's how we'll leave things. That's the next meeting is unknown.
Under development.
Under
That's right.
development. So
TBD.
we're gonna go around. Justin, you can begin. Plug away at your life.
Oh, well. I actually am Justin Monorail. I don't know if you know. I'm in disguise.
What? Has
I know.
that been you the whole
It's
time?
been me the whole time.
Shyamalan twist here.
I know. And I am 1/4 of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. Well, 1/5 really. I always like to not count Landon of the Monday Morning Monorail podcast crew.
I protest.
He's the crown prince of the Forever 44 Fedora Club.
He certainly is.
So
And he would have something to say to me if I didn't include him. But we do a podcast every Monday morning all about Walt Disney World. We've been doing all kinds of things, playing games. We always talk about some news. I like to throw in some deep dives where we really dig into Disney attractions and talk about their stories and really celebrate the fact that Disney is so darn creative and detailed when they bring us these things. So I'd love for you to check it out. You can find us on Twitter at Morning Monorail, but we're Monday Morning Monorail everywhere else.
And you have a fantastic Facebook group as well.
They are pretty magnificent, I would say. Magnificent Monday Morning Monorail fam. Come join the fam on Facebook.
Nice. Skipper Bob, who we have lovingly gotten to know here on these 3 meetings. We've never really chatted ever in life, briefly on Twitter, and now has been a part of this Forever 44 Fedora Club family. So, Skipper Bob, over to you for the plugs.
I'm Bob. I am 1/3 of the trio of the Cretans Guild. 3 drunk idiot friends who've just known each other since the beginning of time. We talk movies, comics, TV shows, theme parks, just whatever we want. Just don't let the little ones hear us. That's all I'm gonna suggest. One of us is kind of filthy. Not me. Sometimes me.
What? Oh.
Sometimes someone else who might be in the chat. May not. But yeah, you can find us at Cretans Guild on Twitter, and that's links to all of our stuff, including both my YouTube channel and SquarePeg's YouTube channel, where he reviews retro video games and video game tech. So if you're into that stuff, give him a subscribe.
Nice.
Very cool. Accurate description.
And of course, over to Nate for a final thought from Nate and his bartending skills.
I actually am a pretty good bartender. I have bartended for several big parties, and I enjoy making cocktail for others as well as drinking them. I had.
How much do you have left of everything? Can you hold them all up?
Too much for drinking.
Out of 3,
Good
too
job.
much.
Wow.
I'm sorry. I was kind of taking over Skipper Bob's role. That's why I like having him here. He's awesome. I don't have anything really to
When
plug.
I'm the lush of the group.
What? I missed that.
He said he's the lush of the group. No
No.
passing that bottle around. We all have to take a chance.
You got to join me at Trader Sam's, and we'll
We're there.
get
We're all
down.
Yeah.
I don't
definitely
have a
happening.
bottle of Jack, but I got 3 drinks. I would like to just tell everyone that this is a fantastic group of people. All of their shows are great. Don't forget to listen to the Dillo's Diz Theme Park Thursday, the Magical Mommy Mondays with Jen, and Cretans Guild, who've already talked about the Morning Monorail. We're here, Monday Morning Monorail. I would like to know what Sam thinks about this movie, because she dislikes very much the Carousel of Progress, which is sort of the same kind of like feel as this movie. So if Sam hates it, I don't know. But
I don't know. I don't know.
Opinion.
I don't know if you want me to say, Nate.
She probably
We'll
hates it.
take it
I
offline.
like Sam's opinions, though. She's awesome about it. So I do want to say I'm a grumpy Gus, but my family always tells me to smile. This is the
Daddy-o
best
thinks
thing
you need
going
a
on
beard,
right
Nate.
now. Thank you, everyone.
Nate, you also made a suggestion on Twitter to Sam directly.
We got to do it.
Yeah, the Blues Brothers. It was
As also the attorney of the club here.
Twitter?
You better do that, or you could be sued. So.
So that's on the list too. All right, so we'll compile a list. We'll
Right.
do some polls. We'll do some votes, and come to a determination quickly, so we can have our next meeting, which will be the 4th meeting of the Forever 44 Fedora Club. I guess it's gonna be like a big one.
The giveaway.
Oh,
We gotta do the giveaway. We gotta do the giveaway on Twitter. So go ahead,
Okay.
Nate. Go ahead. You go, Nate. You go.
No.
Say what
That's
it
the thing we're
is.
talking about. You could be sued if you don't do the giveaway.
Oh no, I'll still let it go because people have to still join the Facebook group. So that's the one we're waiting on a little bit here. So join the Facebook group. Jen's put it up in the notes here. You check it out, and then we will do a giveaway, which is Nate.
You get a awesome trading card collection from the Rocketeer. It is a great Topps product. I am not an investor in Topps. I don't own any of their stock. It's a private company. I don't have anything to reveal. So go ahead and give away that Topps product.
Wiping his hands clean of this one.
I have no interest in that company, although they make great products.
There we have it. I mean, I don't know what better note to end on than Nate spieling for Topps. Judge Jen, over to you.
Are we doing plugs or am I adjourning the meeting? I don't know what you're doing.
Well, Nate plugged us. I thought
know, that's what I figured. So I was just making sure that we're actually ending the meeting.
Come on, Judge.
This is what happens when you don't make an outline.
99 lawnmowers.
Next time, outline.
Oh,
99.
99 what did you say?
Lawnmowers enter a bar. What? 99 jetpacks enter a bar. And they say,
hey, we don't serve your kind here. And he goes, all right, I'll go fill up somewhere else.
Skipper Bob.
And
Skipper Bob, do it.
Bob's like that. Go listen to Theme Park Thursday this week if you want to get in on the 99 jokes, and maybe we'll save it for the next Fedora Club meeting.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a Theme Park Thursday plug. Go listen to that. It's a great podcast.
Thanks, Nate. Thanks, everyone in the chat for chatting along with us. Thank you, Skipper Bob, 3J, Nate. We're Jen and Frank of Dillo's Diz, and we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.